It's Local Edition. Brad Pomerance here in the San Gabriel Valley, joined by Karen Davis. She is a councilwoman in Glendora. And guess what? I took the metro to get to the studio here in Irwindale today.
Good job.
I went from the west side, taking the Expo line to downtown. And then I took the red line to get to the gold line, which takes us all the way through the San Gabriel Valley. And I got off at Irwindale and used my little Segway to get to the studio.
Very
Exciting
nice.
times for the San Gabriel Valley and the gold line.
Yes.
Talk to us about the impact of the gold line on the San Gabriel Valley before we talk about potential extensions.
It's a great opportunity for the San Gabriel Valley to be able to have another way to get around without sitting on the freeway, either the 210 or the 10. And it allows people from other cities, myself for instance, my family and I hop on the gold line and take it into downtown, have dinner at Alvera Street, come back.
Fantastic.
Get to go into downtown LA. So it opens opportunities for businesses, for commuters. It's great.
What's so nice for me, if I can say, I'll be a little parochial, I can work on the train. I can work on the subway. And it's just a very pleasant experience. The subway's clean, very accessible, easy to navigate. Now, there's good news for those that are advocates of the subway, and that is that Measure M passed in November overwhelmingly. That's 4 years after Measure J failed, but 4 years before that Measure R passed, which allowed for this initial gold line extension. So talk to us about Measure M.
It's great because now it opens the door for the extension of the gold line, which we in the city of Glendora are very happy about. Right now, the gold line ends right at our border in the city of Azusa.
Literally, right.
Right. So we've taken advantage of being able to be right there and have shuttle service to it. But to have the station in our city open and to expand those opportunities for housing and for business development in our city and surrounding cities is great. So Measure M not only allows that, but also provides other funding for transportation and for projects for that first mile, last mile, like you experienced today.
So my first mile, last mile is, the guy who got picked last on every sports team got a Segway, and I kind of balance myself on my mini Segway, and I take it to the subway station and away from the subway station. But there's a lot of people who are doing innovative things, bikes, or some companies have shuttles. Glendora has a shuttle. But I want to talk more about Measure M because its passage really is notable. Back in November, there were 14 counties that had transportation taxes on their ballot. Only 6 passed. And LA County was one of them. After, remember, 4 years ago, it didn't pass, needing 2/3 vote. Why do you think the county, the voters were generous this time?
I think because a large part in due to the success of the gold line. The ridership was much higher than they anticipated it. So I think people said, hey, this public transportation thing, it could work. It's a good thing.
The thing about the gold line is it's very visible because it's right along the freeway. The Expo line, at times it's visible, but not necessarily. And so I really think that visibility helps. And it's funny you talk about the gold line because in 2012, when Measure J failed, there was a view that it failed because of a lack of support in the San Gabriel Valley. Because folks felt as if the San Gabriel Valley wasn't getting its fair share.
Everyone felt the money was going to go to the west side. And so they said, hey, if we're going to vote for this and pay this extra tax, we want to benefit. And they've really felt that benefit with the gold line. And so that has been tremendous. When folks are sitting on the freeway stuck in traffic and they see that train go by, they're like, ooh, maybe we might want to try that.
So let's talk more about the potential extension of the gold line because it would be quite significant. It would take us beyond Azusa all the way to Claremont.
To Montclair.
Well, that's an issue. That's an interesting issue. Let's talk about Montclair in a second, but let's just get to the end of the LA County line. Give us a sense of what we're hitting as we go from past Azusa. So the first stop would be Glendora. And then
And Glendora is going to be a technological challenge, construction challenge, because we are going to have 3 bridges in Glendora. One at Grand and Foothill, one at
I'm
Compromise
envisioning,
Line and
yeah.
Route 66, which is already there but needs to be reconstructed, similar to the iconic bridge across the freeway.
Right.
The old bridge needs to come down. Then also at Lone Hill and the Auto Center, right about
Okay.
that intersection there.
That's expensive.
Yes. So those three
Right.
bridges will be expensive, and then the whole engineering process that goes into that, because you have the freight line and you have the passenger line, and so they have to work
Are they
with
sharing?
those. They're going to reroute part of that freight route,
I
and
see.
so that's going to be an expensive and time-consuming project.
But the question is, did Measure M provide funding specifically for those types of projects, the bridges, et cetera?
Yes.
Okay, so
So
we have
it
the
will
money.
happen, but it's going to just take time. That's why folks are a little anxious, because probably riders won't happen till maybe 2022 is what they're projecting, maybe a little earlier if we're lucky.
It's funny you
And
say that,
so-
because I was reading recently that the mayor of Los Angeles really wants the expanded Measure M system to be ready for the 2024 Olympics, should we get it.
Yes.
And that's really more focused on the west side, but still,
Yes,
I mean,
the
look,
Gold Line's part of that.
that's part of that, because we could have venues in a lot of different places
And spectators.
exactly. And
Right.
so if we can have that expanded out, because under Measure M, some of the lines are supposed to be due in 2026 or 2035. I mean, that's beyond 2024.
Right.
So I'm wondering, I mean, is there a real consensus to get going?
Yes. And so all of those cities along that have really been working hard and really trying to work with the Gold Line Construction
Authority.
to try to get that moving along. So
So have we started construction?
no.
So
But
what does that look like? Help me.
so right now, in fact, this week, we just had a meeting
Uh-huh.
with the Gold Line Authority construction group, because first getting all of those plans out of the way. The EIR had already been
Right. The
looked
environment
at, but
impact
now
report, right?
there's going to be some additional work, because back when they first looked at it, changes have been made along the way. So now they'll have to
Okay.
approve some of those changes. And so there still will be some more time going into some of those environmental impact decisions that have to be made, and then deciding if they need to purchase any additional land for parking,
Right.
all of those decisions. So
I want to talk about Montclair, because you mentioned it.
yes.
Now, Montclair is the first city inside of San Bernardino County.
Right,
They were not part of Measure M. They're in a different county.
right.
But the vision is to get that subway or the Gold Line into San Bernardino County. It's like 350 feet.
Because we want to get all the way to the Ontario airport.
Right.
That is the dream.
Talk us through that. Why is it
Yes.
important to get that into Montclair as a way to get to Ontario
Because
Airport?
it's getting our foot in the door to try to get our friends in
Right,
the fine
right.
county of San Bernardino to see the vision, the dream, to continue that Gold Line, to get the funding, the resources, and everyone on board,
Right.
so that the train can go all the way to the Ontario
And
airport.
that would be huge. I mean,
That
they
would
now have
be
local
tremendous.
control over
Right.
Ontario Airport, so
Right.
presumably they have more of a rooting interest.
Yes.
It's not run by LA World Airport. So I got to say, these are incredibly exciting times, and I'm glad
they
that
are.
you are involved in trying to bring more transportation, public transportation, to the San Gabriel Valley. Her name is Karen Davis. She is a councilwoman in beautiful Glendora, California. My name is Brad Pomerance. You're watching Local Edition.